Being said, I've got some actual football talking to do for you guys today. So I watched Alabama's defensive tape, all 22 today, with the Patreon audience, okay? It was an all 22, all Patreon-only film study, okay? We gave them half an hour of Alabama's defense only. If you want to check that out, it's over on patreon.com/Brooks Austin. It'll only cost you what it cost you to fill up on a pub sub today at Publix when you walk through and set through that line. So come on over and enjoy that extra content over there. But I'm going to summarize what we saw today. I talked about them yesterday defensively, and I talked about how I didn't think they were vulnerable, how they didn't necessarily have a weakness. Very similar to you defensively, extremely talented, all that. You know, and I talked about how many NFL guys. I called them a holy shit defense, right? I said every time I looked at a different player, I said, holy shit, that guy's really, really good. I do the same things when I watch Georgia on tape defensively for years now, and always have for Alabama. And I thought they were this impenetrable wall, and that they didn't really have any type of weaknesses. And then I studied them and studied them and studied them and watched them and watched them and watched them. And I found it. I found where they might be vulnerable, where they might not be 100% elite, where they might not be filled with NFL Sunday type football players. And it's the interior of their defensive line. They don't have a game-breaking nose tackle, a game-wrecking three technique, a game-wrecking defensive end type, a 4-eye. So much so that they had to move away from the mint front defense, right? Their nose tackle right now is a guy by the name of Tim Keenan. He's really, really thick, but he is not a nose tackle, a mint 4-2-5 nose tackle. So you have seen them morph into more of a traditional 4-2-5, like NFL standard, two typical defensive ends, a 2-eye or a shade technique, and a 3-tech, all right? They have revolted or resulted back to traditional 4-down defensive front, not playing a 4-2-5 mint that they have been playing over the last several years. And that is a testament, or rather a result and a reaction to the fact of what I'm telling you right now. They don't have a game breaker. They don't have a game changer in at that defensive tackle spot or that nose tackle spot. And I got to really thinking about it today and texted some coaches around the conference. To be honest with you, I don't know of any team in the conference right now that has one of these. And people will hear me say that and they say, Brooks, Mason Smith's incredible. I say Mason Smith had a really not bad year this year, just a really subpar year this year at LSU, as did the rest of that defense. Okay, Harold Perkins took a step back. Everyone took a step back. Certainly Mason Smith did as well. I know, coming off of a year where he was getting a knee repair and all that good stuff. I'm well aware. But he was not a game record this season, nor was anybody really in this conference. You could maybe go up to number 0 from Kentucky, big defensive tackle, but it was up and down for him as well this year. There is no Jalen Carter in this conference. There hasn't been one all year. It's not just Georgia. Honestly, when I watched him on tape today and watched it again over and over again, I came to the conclusion that Warren Brinson will be the best defensive tackle / nose tackle, interior defensive lineman in this football game, in my humble opinion, okay? Jaheim Otis may be a close second. All right, number 91 from Alabama. Outside of that, Alabama's got a bunch of really big uglies. They have an ability to reset the line of scrimmage, but they play with a bunch of what I call linear athletes on their defensive line. Guys that can get upfield or push the pocket or reset the line of scrimmage. But when it comes to their lateral agility, their lateral mobility, and their lateral ability, not really there. These are not super freaks that we've seen in years past from this defense. And that being said, I've been looking for whose game this is going to be at the running back position. When I tell you that, hey, they got a couple of guys that may be able to win or reset the line of scrimmage, but they're not great laterally, well, that would tell me that Daijun Edwards might be the running back that I'm looking for in this football game to, hey, right guard just got reset. Right guard just got pushed back in the line of scrimmage, but the left side's winning theirs or at least stalemating. So now we have this, dislodging or this different levels of defensive line or different levels of line of scrimmage play. I've shown you guys for years now that Daijun Edwards is almost ran like a Tetris player. He's been able to find all this, green grass in this really, really tight box over the years at the University of Georgia. I think it's a really, really big game for Daijun Edwards this week. I also have a concept of the day for you guys because I think there is a way that you will be able to attack this football team. I talked about it in our film study today. It took me 30 minutes. It took me 60 plays and multiple times of seeing the same formation to realize what they were doing and what it will ultimately be able to present to you offensively. Everybody ready? Let's get after it. make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button for real. We got a lot of people in the chat right now. I don't see as many, thumbs up buttons. All right, what is nub? Anybody know what nub is?
Is that not when the H-back is not attached?
It does deal with the H-back. Do you have a guess?
No.
All right, the H-back's on the backside and he's naked. He's by himself.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nub. All right, we're going to take the tight end. Okay, we're going to put him on the backside, attached, doesn't really matter, but he's on the line of scrimmage, okay? We're going to have him over here by himself. We're going to put the running back to the left, all right? We're going to take the slot receiver. We're going to put him here, all right? We're going to take the Z receiver. We're going to put him right next to him. We're going to put the X on the line of scrimmage over here. Now, what has Georgia done, guys? Do you remember what Georgia does defensively this year to nub sets? Do you know what they're doing?
Don't they just put their star over it?
Correct. Good job. It's not the star at Georgia. It's Malachi Starks because he's their best cover big guy.
Yeah.
Right? So they've been putting the safety over here. What Alabama is doing is they're putting the star over here, okay? They're taking their star and they're putting him off the line of scrimmage. It's not even really like that. It's more of like with outside leverage. They'll take that star and they'll play him with outside leverage over the tight end responsible in man-to-man responsibilities with him. They'll take their free safety, they'll put him in the middle of the field, all right? Now, they'll take their strong safety, who this year has been Caleb Downs. They'll put him in the slot over the slot receiver right here in man-to-man coverage. Now, they'll take the corner that was on this boundary, whether it be JaQuincy McKinstry, a.k.a. Kool-Aid, or whether it be Terrion Arnold. They'll flip him over. They'll put him under, or over rather, the number 2 wide receiver, and the corner that's on the other side will stay there. Terrion Arnold will stay there. So now, what I'm telling you is Alabama's going to take their 3 best cover guys. They're going to stick them over your 3 wide receivers, and they're going to take their star, all right, and they're going to leave him in man-to-man coverage on the backside with Brock Bowers. My thoughts exactly. That's the first thing I said. So I see Kentucky start free releasing this guy, and I start seeing this guy playing with outside leverage, all right, and I start seeing this safety rotating over here, and I start seeing a whole bunch of grass over here for this matchup right here. That's what I'm seeing on tape. All right, so if I'm Georgia, I'm getting into nub sets right now, and I'm going to attack and force this one-on-one. Make them play to their rules, and here's what's ultimately going to happen. You ready? Ultimately, what's going to happen is eventually, Georgia will get into this nub set if they do run it, right? And they'll run some type of speed out, or they'll run some type of double move, right? And they'll beat this corner, or they'll beat this nickel. All right, and then the next time they get into it, you know what's going to happen? This safety that was rolling this way, guess where he's going to roll?
He's rolled back to the middle field.
You god dang right. He's going to roll back to 19 side. And now guess what we have? Now, not only did we have the one-on-one, 19 versus 9, with no help at all, because the safety's now worried about Brock on the other side of the field. We all got it?
Yep.
That's where I'm hitting my explosives on Saturday. I'm figuring out how to do this. Worst case scenario, we get a PI. You know what I mean? Worst case scenario, we get a PI, we get a one-on-one matchup, and then the guy, ultimately, the safety ends up drawing over here, and we really got an opportunity to work over here one-on-one versus 3. Best case scenario, you get an explosive out of it, and they never adjust, and you continue to stay in your man-to-man abilities. What you got a smile on your face for? What you got a smile on your face for? Because I know why I got a smile on my face.
I'm assuming you have a smile on your face because you figured it out.
I ain't figured it out, but I'm going to tell you right now, ain't nobody doing it like that, dog. Ain't nobody doing it like that. Ain't nobody out here digging it up like that. The last time I did find one of those, it was FIB into the boundary against TCU, and they ran that sumbitch for 3 quarters for about 45 points. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm smiling because anytime you can find a way to get a one-on-one with Brock Bowers, that's a good situation to be in.
And guarantee it based off what they've been doing and what their rules say that they do.
So, I mean, are they going to stick with their rules is the question. Because obviously Brock Bowers is not like a normal tight end. Mm-hmm. And you have to treat him not like a normal tight end. If you do, you're going to lose anyways.
So the only thing that I think they might break from their rules is to leave Kool-Aid or Terrion over there anyways and leave their best corner on your best weapon instead of putting their star on your best weapon.
What about having an outside linebacker bump?
Chip.
Yeah, chip.
I mean, yeah, but that's just going to allow us to hold the football longer. If you're taking Dallas Turner and you're occupying him with the tight end before he gets a full rush on, you're rushing 3 all day. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to pick you apart offensively. The only real answer, if you're going to stick to that, is either bump into zone, which is something they don't want to do because they cover so well, or roll the safety over. That's it. You either get into man or you roll the safety over to help. Those are the only 2 options. or hope they just don't get into nub, which I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to get into nub, okay? Because there's no way they didn't see that.
Yeah.
There's no way. It took
Well,
me – well,
they've definitely seen it now.
they've definitely seen it now. So shouts out. Just consider that my application. He asked me, or I asked him, hey, Coach, how do I get smarter as a football observer? Well, I don't know what you're really asking, but you just join an SEC staff. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to do that. I think I like what I'm doing. I don't think I want to work 365 days a year, even though I kind of work 365
I was about to
days
say,
a year.
you
Yeah,
kind of
say,
already
what do you
do that
mean
now.
you don't work 365 days a year?
I think Jihad Campbell's really special, number 30 from Alabama. Let me read you a little factoid on our man Jihad. From IMG Academy. So first and foremost, you knew he was going to walk into college and be a guy, at least know how to practice for the most part, and not like a transplant to IMG Academy. I'm talking about like was cultivated there, was a product, not a one-year rental at IMG Academy like some of these guys tend to be. This was a dude that spent time there, so you knew he was going to come out clean, and he's done exactly that. He's also 6'3 plus. If you told me he was touching 6'4, I wouldn't be shocked. Extremely long arms, and not only is he 6'3 plus, 230 pounds plus, he runs a sub 4.5, and he runs, this is the most impressive thing considering his height, he runs a sub 4.2 in the 5.10 5 short shuttle. So he can go from here to 5 yards over here to 10 yards over here to 5 yards through the finish line in under 4.2 seconds. Just for general reference for you, the fastest guy on Georgia's team per my sourcing in that particular drill is a guy like Ladd McConkey, who's just under 4 seconds flat. Just kind of trying to put all that in perspective of who Jihad Campbell is. He didn't start the season as their number one guy or their starter at the will position, but I'm telling you right now, Jihad Campbell, in my opinion, is the best NFL prospect at the linebacker position in this football game on both sides of the football, okay? He's really, really, really good. And also on top of that, what I've seen from him over the last couple of weeks tells me he's their best pass rusher when standing up. Dallas Turner out of the equation. I'm considering him a traditional defensive end nowadays because that's what he's playing this year. That's what their defense has morphed him into. He's not a jack. He's not an outside linebacker. He's playing DN this year, okay? So if that's what he is, we have to qualify him as a traditional hand-in-the-ground edge rusher, which means who's your best stand-up guy? I'm going to tell you right now, from what I've seen, it's number 30. Oh, and by the way, he can cover too, and he covers a lot of ground. I think 30 is going to make some disruptive plays on Saturday. If you're a Georgia fan listening to this, you just better hope he don't turn it over when he does so. He's really fast. He's really smooth. He's going to play on Sundays for a long time. He was the guy, guys, he was the most impressive player to me.